one of my least
Zolf's
favorite
little
enemies.
episode, kid sets off in search of shards. First stop, Jawson Bog. You'll get lost in that bog, I told the kid, and I won't be able to guide you back.
Rather, I'm gonna find more of my least favorite enemies, and then a couple that suck almost just as
Well,
bad.
I let him go. What else could I do? What could any of us do? Zolf put us in a real bind. Hurt the Bastion bad.
It's amazing how little this, I'm not sure how I want to phrase this. It's amazing how this game can get away with advancing the plot so little for so long. Because if you notice, nothing has really happened except we've been running the same fetch quest for the past few hours. I mean, the most significant plot advancement at this point is the whole thing with Zolf cursing the narrator and cursing the Bastion, and we still don't quite know what that even means. Up until this point, let's see, the kid is waking up, discovered the Bastion, discovered the narrator. We found Zia and Zolf, and we've discovered that we need to restore the Bastion by going on this fetch quest for these MacGuffin shards.
But the shards can make it better. They're like smaller doses of the core's medicine.
That and the thing with Zolf leaving recently, that's really the only plot advancement we've had so far. I mean, we've had plenty of narrative given to us, but we haven't had the straight plot line advance very much else.
This place is intoxicating.
Because even though, like I said in an earlier episode, the aesthetic kind of conflicts, the art style and the music conflict, making for kind of a weird mishy-mashy aesthetic.
Don't know where he's gone.
It still does a good job of bringing you into this world and into telling you a lot about it.
Wherever he is, somewhere I've never been, somewhere I never want to go.
Also, I can't say enough how much I want this soundtrack. I think if you have the Chrome version of this game, you actually get the soundtrack with it. I could be completely wrong about that, but just keep that in mind. This was probably one of the best soundtracks of 2011. Oh, that reminds me. While I have the presence of mind to do this, if you want to read some of my stuff, you can go ahead and check me out at selectpauseplay.wordpress.com. I can assure you that, at least for the time being, I'm a much better writer than I am a speaker, though I'm working on getting better at that. Still, though, that's pretty much what I want to be doing with my life, is writing, so if you would be so kind as to go and head over there and check me out, check out some of my reviews. I just put up a Game of the Year post for 2011, and I'm working on a list of about 50-something games I'm looking forward to in 2012. So that's where you can check that out, selectpauseplay.wordpress.com. Now that I'm done evangelizing my own personal blog, back to Bastion.
That a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a lonesome ghost of a gas fella.
Now, I kind of thought gas fellas were already ghosts. So that raises an interesting question. What is a ghost of a ghost?
What do you say to a kid who's seen too much?
I've seen some stuff, man. And some things.
I'm Zolf of the Ura. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Now the kid sees something stranger still. Did anybody else survive? Sure enough, he finds
that kind of semi-procedurally generated. I know it's scripted that it generates, so it's not quite procedural in that sense of the word, but just the way the path opens up to you as you progress, where previously there was none. Even that is so wonderfully useful in conveying the sense that you're slowly but surely restoring the world to what it used to be. And that's a fun little enemy. These fuckers are not, though. Wallflowers. And we have some more of the hallucinogenic gas spores. And a bird. Because we love fucking birds. Damn birds.
Now the Bastion can send them even farther into the wild unknown.
You know, it's not the screen distortion, the blur from the spores that gets me. It's how suppressed the sound becomes for the couple seconds that it affects you that gets to me.
Kid sets foot inside one of Ceylondia's famous watering holes. He has the nerve to flash the shield he stole.
And if I remember correctly, this is the saloon from earlier on in the game, from the first episode.
The security's just gonna have to straighten.
And that is a big squirt spawner.
Succeeds where the calamity failed.
What, to eliminate the defenses of a helpless saloon?
Would you look at what he did to poor old Ronde the bartender?
A second time?
Proper story is supposed to start at the beginning. It's so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world's alright, snoozing there on a rock in the sky.
What kind of horrible life
He
is
wakes
that?
up. I'm just fooling.
Imagine you're a
Sees
kid.
what's left of the rippling walls.
Maybe you are already.
Years of work.
And your home
undone
is a
in an instant.
floating fucking rock with a pillow
Sees
and some
what's
hay
left
on
of
it.
Piff, the bull.
I'm thinking at that point, the end of the world isn't exactly the worst thing to happen to you all day. Or or for the entire duration of your lifetime. I'm thinking that's
They're
probably
all undone. He
a
sees
welcome
what's
change of
left his
pace.
lifelong friend.
This fight's kind of disappointing because all he really does is chase you down and swing the hammer at you, and there's not really much to it.
He's come undone.
It could have been as fun as the Shadow Link fight from the Water Temple in Ocarina of Time, but that's a missed opportunity. Which is kind of a shame because I feel like the combat in Bastion, well, no, not the variety. Not the variety of items anyway. The combat though, the combat is much meatier. It's much more enjoyable than in Zelda. So it's kind of a shame that they miss out on building a really interesting, fun combat opportunity. Fucking creepy narrator trying to sing the kid to sleep. I would really love to see somebody go into the game files for this game and replace all of the narrator's dialogue with lines from what's his name, the pedophile from Family Guy. When I first played through this, I was worried that that was the end of the game, because that seems like the kind of odd, surreal sequence that an ending for a game like this would have.
Thought we'd lost him, but he finally comes to.
But luckily, I wake up back in the Jawson Bog. Which, again, compared to the rock in the sky that the kid was sleeping on previously...
The shard ain't lost either. Not anymore.
Isn't the worst place to wake up, honestly. I'm thinking of all the places I could sleep, a bog
thorns into his heels.
At least outranks a rock. A floating rock where if I were to fall off in my sleep or sleepwalk or something, I would die. I would just fucking die.
Ever heard of a lung blossom? It's bigger than the stories say.
I can't not ask, or I can't not laugh at a man whose narrative I've built up to be that he's a pedophile. I can't not laugh at him asking if I've ever seen a lung blossom and then saying that it's bigger than the stories say. That's just... There's such a level of innuendo that I've entirely invented.
The breath on that thing, like a scumbag.
It's just fucking creepy. That guy. I couldn't tell over the course of this fight whether or not I was doing damage to the damn thing, because virtually every other enemy in the game has a little ring around them where their shadows are attached that indicates how much health they have left, if you haven't noticed already.
They say one whiff of lung blossom can make
the little bastard centipede-looking things that pop up out of the ground in this fight, and I think they were the one or two enemies I fought leading up to this, have another tell when they're getting damaged, in that they burrow into the ground a little bit more, like you're driving them into the ground. And the boss doesn't really have any kind of indicator of how much health he is remaining, which is kind of annoying. Luckily, though, I was doing damage to him over the course of this fight. And he just has a whole bunch of annoying ads.
Well, the kid prunes it down to size somehow.
Like you see there, it gets driven into the ground as I hammer away at it. The boss doesn't have any kind of indication that it's taking... Well, not that it's taking damage, because it flashes red, but it doesn't show any signs of how much damage it's taken so far.
Mother only knows what happened in the bog. Kid never much cared to speak of it. A shard is like a poor man's core, but beggars can't be choosers.
Man. I really can't wait to start my second playthrough of this game, actually, because I'm as much as I criticize little details and I kind of nitpick at it, I'm really in love with this game. It might not be the best or one of the best games of 2011, but it is a very, very good one, and it accomplishes a lot. I mean, just the fact that I'm able to have some of these nitpicky kind of criticisms is a testament